welcome to episode 0, so this episode doesn't exist, of the Future Nostalgia Podcast, in which we hope to make today's memories, just all that excited. I'm with Connor. Welcome, Connor. Oh god, do your thing just stop?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh god.
Well, can I swear?
I don't... Yeah, this is a no-holds-bar, be yourself, be an individual kind of talk.
Okay.
You know what? So if the moment is right, it's just right.
All right.
Right. So we're gonna talk about some anything really, because this episode doesn't matter and it doesn't exist. So, man, what movie did I just see that I really liked? It was.
You see movies?
Did you say DC movies?
Do you see movies? I'm like questioning your ability to see movies.
You know what? I've been seeing so many more movies now than I have before.
I've actually I'm seeing way less movies now than I did before.
I think it's the whole nostalgia thing, because they're coming out with so many things that I liked as a kid, and they're like, hey, remember that childhood thing? Childhood never dies. Because there's like Jungle Book and Tarzan. Disney's like, hey, that thing you never asked for? We did it anyways. And then Marvel, and then DC, even though they're shitty movies. And then, they just keep coming out with, like, what is it? I played Warcraft, so the Warcraft movie's coming out, and every single time there's a trailer. Now the Assassin's Creed thing.
The Warcraft movie's out.
I know, and I'm probably gonna go see it. And I heard
it's better than what people expected.
Yeah, I heard that too. And plus, I'm gonna be such a nerd when I see it. Because I'm gonna know all the characters and all the scenes and the whole storyline, and if I go with anyone, it's gonna be that thing where I'm gonna go, something's gonna happen, I'm like, gonna whisper, like, you know what? That character doesn't actually do that in the story, but they changed it for the movie. Or even super nerdy, they're gonna cast a spell, and I'm gonna turn around and be like, that cost 125 mana, and everyone's gonna hate me. I don't know, I've seen too many movies now. What's the worst part about that too?
There's a bad part about it?
Well, not just the spending the money.
Oh, yeah.
I always walk out like a critic, and I've the movies have been good, but I've never walked out and said that was a great movie. So I keep giving them money, but then I'm never 100% satisfied. Yeah. So really, does that say something about me or the movies?
Well, you were saying how nothing, very little in your eyes is great. There's lots of good stuff and better than average stuff, but there's very few great things.
Oh. Yeah, I'm kind of a tough critic for that line. To surpass the line of good to greatness, for me, it has to be... But again, it's a personal preference, too. It's not I decide what's good or great. Like, for example, my favorite movie of all time is Moulin Rouge. It's a romantic singing thing, and I don't like any of those genres, but that's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it to people just because I think it's great. I wouldn't go to people like, this is the greatest movie of all time. It's my greatest movie of all time. But to pass that threshold, oh man, it needs that oomph. I don't know. Probably Chris Pratt in it or something.
Chris Pratt needs to be in everything. Cody gets really mad at me because anytime we talk about movie stuff, he's always he'll sometimes be like, what male actor would you like to see take on, what actor would you like to see take on this character?
Chris
and
Pratt.
if it's male, I'm always like Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, obviously. Was that even a question?
Chris Pratt 2020.
Chris Pratt 2020. I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It's good.
It's really
and
good.
Then, and then when you start digging deeper into it, the whole philosophy thing, it's really about not taking anything seriously because bad things are going to happen. But again, that's just a personal intake, because every single time something's about to be serious, they say some sort of joke But I take that to heart. I think that's why I enjoy that movie a lot more than like the Avengers or even the newer ones.
A lot of Marvel stuff is like, we're gonna be serious, but there's also jokes, so
JK
don't
lol.
even worry.
And they don't take themselves 100% seriously. But that's the reason why I was looking forward to DC, the DC movies,
because they're gonna be all seriousness, all brooding.
Yeah, which, I mean, they did a really bad job with it. So like, they did a horrible job. But
they had one good broody trilogy, and they're like, every movie must be broody.
Everything.
Oh no, Suicide Squad actually doesn't look too broody and looks awesome.
Yeah, because I heard after Deadpool came out, they went back to do a bunch of reshoots, and I'm assuming just to be more like Deadpool.
It was more so after Batman vs Superman had no jokes in it. They were like, oh, oops. Right, people like to laugh.
Oh yeah. I don't say I like broody, but I like different. I like a different type of story. The Avengers, Marvel for me is like the classic superhero where you watch it and they're going to win at the end. It's supposed to be a good time, not a stressful time.
Yeah. And
then Deadpool and hopefully Suicide Squad is the complete other end of, let's just have fun. Like, just screw it. Whatever. Let's just, we have powers. Who cares? And then I was hoping that Batman v Superman and, that stuff was the other end, was what would superheroes be like in a realistic setting where there's problems and there's things. They did a horrible job at it, but...
If you want, like, realistic superheroes, you have to go to stuff like Chronicle or...
that was good.
What's that? Watchmen? The guy who wears a... Watchmen, yes. Also the guy, although that's a little dramatic.
Yeah, it's a little dramatic, but it's a serious tone the whole time.
Yeah. And then also, what's the guy in the green suit that just has, like, no nervous system?
Was that Green Hornet?
No. Green Hornet's not realistic at all. That's another Batman, really. Well, it's another Batman just with just gadgets, I should say. No, it's the... it's got, like, Nicolas Cage in it as, like, the father Batman guy.
Oh, Kick-Ass. Man, that was funny.
Kick-Ass, it'd also be realistic in a way. That was
one of the movies, for me, was great. Not because of the movie, but because of the experience. And I remember when I watched it, I was looking... This is because superhero movies weren't a huge thing at that time, right? They were just
not as big as they are now, yeah.
X-Men, Spider-Man, I think that was... And then, like, a Superman movie. I think that's when Batman was getting big. And like, you know what, let's do it. And I remember seeing it on Netflix or something, going, you know what? I'm just looking for a relaxing, good old superhero time. I thought it was going to be the, just the normal, the good guy wins, everything's fun. And it was only because my expectations got flipped over. Once people start dying and they're swearing and people are getting beat up and there's blood and like I was so surprised. But then like I was kind of turned off, but then I was like, you know what? I can't stop watching this.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. It's
good. It was a really good movie.
It was, for me, it was the same twist as Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you don't know what you're going to go see, you'll be shocked. And I think that's the shock factor that I got from watching Kick-Ass, because I didn't... In the title, it says ass in it. Like I should have maybe thought of what I was getting myself into. But no, it was one of those things where you didn't really know what it was about.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to win at the end. I know they're going to win.
For me, a movie like that was... it's not a common movie. Like, not a lot of people know of it, but it's called Funny People. And me and like Ben and Nick and a couple other guys, I don't know if you came with us, but we went to see it like back in high school. And I loved it for the same reason Ben hated it, because it wasn't funny, even though we thought it was going to be.
It wasn't funny?
Yeah, no, it was like super it was like a drama where like people were getting in arguments all the time and arguing and like love and shit like that, romance.
Yeah.
and like it was pretty well done in my opinion. It was a pretty good movie, and like but the shock that it wasn't
funny.
it wasn't a comedy was what made that great, because like I don't know, it just was like, oh, okay. And Ben hated it because of that. He's like, it wasn't funny at all.
Why would you put the title funny in it if it wasn't funny?
I had Adam Sandler in it, and he actually didn't do terrible, so
oh yeah, oh my god, Adam Sandler.
Don't watch any of his Netflix movies.
I've heard that so many times. Where I don't know, did he just sign something with Netflix and he's like, just any kind of money is okay for me, I'll just be someone, I'll just be a name? I don't know. Okay, what is that, the only movie, or is there another movie that was like the biggest shock for you? Rather,
no,
it's like,
that's the only one that's on top of my head.
Yeah, I miss, and I think that's the reason why for me Civil War, which was a very good movie, wasn't great for me, is because I miss being shocked, surprised, and that's the other one, or feeling like the consequences matter.
Yeah.
Because I know there's going to be some consequences, but at the end of Civil War, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, Iron Man gets a phone, and I don't know if that ruins anything for you, but he gets a phone, and then just that, all the consequences are like, it's okay, we're still friends. It's kind of like, what is it? The one guy doesn't die. I guess, spoiler alert, a guy doesn't die.
Yeah, no one dies.
To me, it felt like...
Well, what would be a surprise, probably, is that the villain didn't die. Villains very often die in Marvel movies.
Yeah, they kind of just move on from the villain. And, well, yeah. I guess...
Like, only, like, Loki hasn't really died.
Yeah, because people love him.
Yeah, people would be very upset if he did die. And he can't really die, because if he did die, he'd go to that, like, Asgardian hell and then would come back anyway.
Yeah, he would come back. Does that mean that we as the viewers actually have a superpower? Like, we can choose who lives or dies? Because if we just love a villain, he'll live. If we're like, boo, that guy's a bad guy, he's dead. Like, we...
Yeah.
Without knowing, watching Marvel movies, we choose if the villain lives or dies.
Yes. Probably also the heroes. If there was a hero we didn't like, as the general audience, they'd probably kill him off.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd kill him off or just use him as a back character. Yeah,
but well, they would likely kill him off at in the like first half hour of a movie to like
the stakes are high.
The stakes are high. Someone actually died.
Stakes are high. And boo, didn't like him anyways. Like basically the person whose their contract is done, or no, that's not true. They didn't do that. Someone who's getting paid the least. You know that they're probably, it's like Survivor, they've got the less votes, but this votes money. They're gone. Yeah. Like, Civil War felt like you were playing tag or dodgeball, and then you took it really seriously, and then someone got hit in the face, and everyone, and then everyone feels bad, like, oh no, like, oh god, I feel so bad, and then, you took the game really seriously, but then recess is done, and then by the end of the day, you're friends again.
Yeah.
That's what Civil War felt like to me. It was like a kids playing, and then
I think we'll see more consequences in future movies. Like Captain America isn't like the government hates him right now, right? He's not in America.
he's just captain now.
Also, all the people on his side, he just broke them out of prison.
Yeah, so but again, that's another consequence where they're just like, prison, whatever.
Yeah, but then there is hope. I mean, if they use it, which they may or may not, of the like, oh, now they're like wanted criminals.
Yeah. Hopefully, it depends. But here's the thing that really bugged, and that's another reason why the Star Wars movie too and all that stuff. Where, I mean, for me, Star Wars is a little bit different because it means more about the trilogy. But I feel like sometimes they're just leaving things out because they're gonna happen in other movies. The whole consequences thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to see it in other movies, then, basically the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is just different parts. It's just a part of one giant movie.
Yes.
So
they're basically like You know how Sherlock has like movie episodes,
Oh,
movie-sized episodes? It's basically like that.
yeah. You're gonna sit down and be like, now, kids, do you want to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Yeah. All right, we'll start with episode 1, the Hulk. Episode 2 is Iron Man 1, and we'll just go from there.
Actually, you're allowed to skip episode 1.
Always skip episode 1.
Yeah, you skip the Hulk. The Hulk's not allowed to have his own.
He's not allowed.
He's not allowed to have his own movie, like legally, but made by Marvel. This is like, they can use Hulk as long as he doesn't have his own movie.
That's weird.
So that's why, as we'll see in Thor,
yeah, he's gonna be there.
Like, people didn't really like, people kind of liked Thor 1, but then didn't really like Thor 2. So like Thor 3, they're like, why don't we make it half a Hulk movie?
Yeah, might as well. It's totally not a Hulk movie, but there's gonna be a special guest. That's kind of like being a talk show host and then having someone like guest, and then the talk show host just leaves for half the episode and then just comes back. No, it's still totally my show.
Yeah.
They were a guest, not hosting.
Yes.
Talked about shocks, right? Big twists. And when we talked about Marvel, how they don't do that, they don't. What would you want a big twist to happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, I kind of already talked about this on here's a plug, the Forget Me Not podcast.
Forget Me Not podcast. Bow, 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 bow.
How I really wanted, because in the original Civil War, Captain America dies.
Spoiler alert.
I really wanted in the movies Iron Man to die.
Oh, I see. Like the other side, kind of like the Star Trek 2.
Yeah. And it works in a number of different ways, because like he's already had his 3 main movies.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, he can just die. He's all like Robert
was fun, wasn't it?
Robert Downey Jr. is also like the most expensive actor to pay for Marvel, so it's just like, oh, kill him and we don't have to pay him anymore.
I think, God, he just, like, publicity and stuff, they're like that's the one thing I like about them, like, as actors. Now they're like a family instead of just actors, they're not just playing a movie, they kind of like have fun together. But that would be a twist. That would have been a good twist, because Civil War is my favorite comic book of all time, and probably the only comic book I've ever read. So you can see where the stakes are high. But I watch other comic books and stuff, which are good. There's some other ones, but Civil War is my favorite story because it's one of those things where there's no good guy, there's no bad guy. There's questionable decisions, but you can go be on either side, and you're not necessarily wrong.
Yeah,
you're not necessarily right either, and they could both be wrong. Big twist. Yeah, I thought that. I didn't think he was gonna die, but I kind of wanted him to.
Mm-hmm.
I want
they could have had like Bucky kill him, and then like Steve would be all like, Bucky, how could you? And then
Bucky, no.
Steve like is like upset that Iron Man has been killed, and then takes down Bucky, and Bucky gets killed or something. That would be
interesting storytelling, where he did all this to save his best friend, but in doing so he lost his other best friend to his best friend. And
so then he is like, well, I can't be best friends with Bucky now because he just killed a man, so now he has no best friends.
Yeah. Oh, God. See,
although
I think there be so many things.
Tony and Cap were never really besties in the movies.
My biggest twist, rather, it was all a dream. That's my first one. Second one, they are actually Marvel Cinematic Universe was actually in the DC universe the whole time.
What?
Yeah. You know what? I just want Marvel to just do Superman, because Captain America is basically what Superman's supposed to be. Just with, that's if Superman didn't have powers, that's who Captain America is right now.
Yeah,
My big
sort of,
twist
yeah.
is I guess it's more of a personal thing because the X-Men have been my favorite. I want like a X-Men Marvel Cinematic Universe crossover event that connects them together, like an Avengers versus X-Men kind of thing, connects the universe, and then kill off the Fantastic Four. Like, might as well just do that all together. And it's
They're
not
not
really a
continuing that. They're not continuing those Fantastic Four characters.
God. I hope not.
They no, they aren't. They canceled 2 movies because it did so poorly.
Good. It's so bad.
It was
But
terrible. I didn't even see it, and I know that.
like, if you do like this, because in the comics, there's like multiverse or whatever. I know that's kind of complicated stuff, for like a movie thing to do. But if they did, they can do this multi-universe, and the X-Men are in one universe, the Avengers are in the other, and I mean that's super complicated.
Yeah.
I just want it. It's not really a twist. It's not really a shock. But,
there are comics of Marvel and DC fighting.
okay, let's do a Marvel versus DC thing for a second. Guys, we've talked about this a while ago, but I want to see if it's still the same, right?
Yeah.
First of all, let's just get this one out of the way. Who's making the best movies?
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel, obviously. Except for the Dark Knight, like number 2.
Well, if you said movies with an S.
Yeah, with an S. That's like their, if they had like their star player, like their captain, that would be theirs, but doesn't hold the whole team together.
No.
And it's not even a part of the universe, so yeah,
No.
obviously Marvel wins. Ding ding ding, Marvel wins.
Yes.
What about characters? And this could be comic books and movies, like everything. It's not just the movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my personal opinion, I find there's more Marvel characters that I enjoy and like than DC.
Okay.
Not to say there aren't DC characters that I don't love, but I just love the Marvel characters generally more.
Yeah, that makes sense. My favorite have always been the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because it's always been about teamwork, and I like teamwork and stuff. And I also, and then I like, oh God, I like DC ones too. So I don't know who I'd give the point to, because X-Men. Let's do it. X-Men. Marvel wins again. Ding 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 ding.
Keep saying X-Men. I'm like, X-Men is Marvel.
I know,
if you're going like general, although they are Fox in movies.
Yeah, but then I thought I like Superman. I think I know a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel. I liked it about 75%.
Really, that's surprising. Surprisingly a lot.
It's because the scenes that they didn't do well, I knew what they were trying to do, so I just filled in the blanks myself.
Ah.
The scenes, like, spoiler alert, he kills, like Zod's about to kill like some dinky family, like who cares? Like a lot of people have already died, but that family. And then he's like, no, don't kill this happy white suburban family. And then kills Zod, and then he's like, oh no,
when he was killing Zod was like the first time he ever showed like not like being like he was like upset he had to do something.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like it was like I was expecting there to be like a moment where he was like,
I did it.
Like, I don't want to hurt you. Like before, like in the movie, he was like, I don't want to hurt you. Just why don't you guys just leave? He doesn't do that. He punches them free, like beats the shit out of them, throws them through buildings, makes buildings collapse on people, and then it's like, oh, but I don't want to snap your neck. It's like, what? Like they didn't really show his compassion well to like lead us to that conclusion.
Yeah. See, I filled in the blanks because I knew what they were trying to do. They wanted to show that they wanted to put, and they could have done a lot better, but they wanted to put him in a scenario in which he had to choose one or the other. And, that he cared so much for, Earth or whatever, but he cared so much about his people, and then he made it. I knew what they were trying to do. So emotion-wise, I just filled in the blank, and I was like, oh, damn, that was good. But if you actually just watch it, I'm like, that's really crappy.
Yeah.
That's why I say 75%, because I think it was the best rendition of Superman. Again, personal opinion. A lot of people don't
What?
agree with it.
You don't like the 80s Superman? I'm not joking. I love it. Superman 3 is my favorite Superman movie.
I actually haven't watched. I've watched the first one, and that's about it. So I haven't seen the old ones.
Superman 3, the minor semi-villain, if you will, is a computer programmer.
Nice.
And he steals all the half pennies that the banks forget about and becomes a billionaire. I'm not even joking. This is the plot line. And then Lex Luthor finds out, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends now." And then you're like, "Oh, okay, so they're villains now."
Yeah, the bad guys.
Literally, it's just they're just bad guys because Lex Luthor, no other reason.
Yeah. Who would win in a fight, DC or Marvel? And not the producers, not the actual directors if they had a fist fight. Just the main lineup, not because I know both they have people who can bend reality and all that stuff. Not those guys, the main.
Scarlet Witch can bend reality.
Yeah.
As in, she creates a second
House
Earth
of M, that was good too.
on the other side of the sun.
Yeah, and she also the comic books House of M.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know why everyone wanted to go back, because that's something they didn't play with, the whole question of reality. And
yeah.
If you can bend reality, how do you know your reality is the real one? And I don't know, that as reality stuff,
It's hard to say because the reason Batman wins in his comics is pretty much because he's Batman.
Yeah, he's that's the answer.
The
he's
reason
Batman.
Superman wins in his comics is because he's Superman.
Yeah, he's the best.
Meanwhile, the reason the Avengers win is because teamwork. The reason Iron Man wins is because he overcomes his struggles and thinks uses his technology in innovative ways. The reason Captain America wins is because of his undying.
Believes hard enough.
He believes hard enough. His undying conviction always brings him through. And it's personally, I find the characters on the Marvel side have more depth.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with
if
that
you're
too.
If you're going for powerhouse and no holds barred, I think DC would win.
I think so too. If it's just because that's boring. Here's the one of reasons why I like WWE over UFC, because it's more entertaining.
Yeah,
because there's stories and there's stuff. I don't think that's how I'm gonna go out and fight. If I think who's gonna win, I don't know, John Cena or GSP, I'm that's not a question.
Put your money on Cena.
My buddy's
Cena is Superman.
Yeah, John Cena is the Superman of wrestling. But that's why, in a fist fight, yeah, I'm gonna DC. If they're just we're gonna punch each other. Okay, the Justice League will probably beat the Avengers. There's a good chance,
But if you made it interesting story, then it'd be Marvel's ended up getting really beaten up, and they retreat, and they're guys, we gotta do some serious shit.
Yeah,
and they're
believe hard enough.
Let's get fucking Loki in here, and let's get all the villains to be yo, these guys are worse than you for some reason, I don't know, and let's go kill them.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. So I think that's what I got time for episode 0. So we'll see what happens with this, because this was unsanctioned and there was no rules. Let's just talk and see what happens.
I mean, that's what the podcasts are, the Forget Me Not one usually is, so.
Yeah, this is whatever. So, movies don't have twists. Well, some of them do. DC would win the fist fight. I care about Marvel more as kind of if your kid went to track and field, they probably won't win, but you care for them more to win. That's what Marvel is.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, Connor, for guesting. You were really good at guesting.
Yeah. I mean, I have been doing a podcast for
Oh yeah, Forget Me Not. That is the inspiration for us all. Us two. Both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think It's on SoundHound right now, but if it's moving, we'll find out.
Did you say SoundHound?
Yeah, I said SoundHound. I have that app and it's in my head. So yeah, go find it. Internet, Google.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that is end of episode 1. Nope, 0. And hopefully we'll have you again. And
I'd love to be on again.
Yeah, that's the end of Future Nostalgia, and just have a nostalgic day.
Anything can happen. Watch.